So Shanghai Diamond League, we just saw the men's 110-meter hurdles where Grant Holloway was supposed to run, but had some issues, I think, in the Shanghai Diamond League, pulled out of the Shanghai one here. Yeah. But we still saw an amazing performance with Cordell Tinch, who ran 12.87 seconds, which is number 4 all time in the history of the event. And, the field behind him, you had Rashid Broadbell, you had, Hansel Parchment, a couple other guys there. But that was the big kind of takeaway where this guy really kind of showed up and really showed out. Well, I don't know. What do you kind of think of initially about Cordell
Here's
Tinch
my
there?
real thoughts. Because this one I actually have very real thoughts. So I'm going to start off with this. It's about time.
About time.
And it's about time because I've been paying attention to the Cordell Tinch story for a while now, all the way back to D2.
D2,
when
man.
he goes off at the NCAA Nationals, practically could have put a whole bunch of points on the board for D1 if they let him in. He was running, he was the fastest American going into the USA's that year.
Yeah, he ran
Like faster than Holloway at that moment.
Yeah.
But here's what I have to say. Whether people want to acknowledge it, Cordell Tinch is the closest thing to Grant Holloway you've actually seen on talent. Because we don't live in a team track and field world, you don't know it. Like we don't get it because we don't have a world where it matters that he high jumps and he long jumps and he hurdles and you could run him on relays. Like again, in a team track world, you get it.
Yeah.
Because that's what Holloway was in college. They both were the same thing. But that said, in the hurdles, which obviously is his main event, it's about time. Because I always knew it was in the bag.
Of course.
It's just that we ain't never seen it come out at the pro level. Certainly not on that clock.
Not on that clock. Not on that, this specific performance. I mean, he had shown himself in different ways. In 2023, he ran sub 13. He made the team to Budapest at those world champs. 2024, this is like the American problem. He finished 4th place running 13:03 at the Olympic trials, which is like faster than most athletes in the world are able to run, and he didn't make the team. So he's shown himself, more than capable of competing with the best and being one of the best. But now this puts him into a conversation where it's like, he just popped off 12:87 at this point in the year. He ran Grand Slam track in Kingston as a challenger. He might come back. This puts him in like, I'm truly one of the more talented athletes in the entire world right now. So I don't know. I feel like this sets Cordell up for some big performances and a lot of success going forward. Where I don't know if I'm picking 3 people to beat him at US trials later on this year. Still have some time to go, but he's extremely talented.
I mean, he just has to be able to let's be real. Let's be 100% real. What this performance suggests is if you can replicate that, the only man on the planet who's proven he could beat you is Grant.
It's Grant Holloway, yeah.
I mean, who's running?
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen a Devin Allen sighting.
Exactly. Devin Allen is on the clock run faster with his 12.84, but he's been injured back to back to back.
Yeah, so like I think it's safe to say this is what it is.
Yeah.
Like this is what we should expect.
At least on the clock. So yeah, and it'd be interesting in my mind. I was thinking, yes, Grant Holloway had to pull out. If he was in this race, it would have been interesting to see what he could have done. But it gets me intrigued on the future of like, all right, hopefully he's healthy. Hopefully we see him, compete a lot more. Get back, he has a wild card to the world champs. Yeah. But who knows? He may be able to touch something crazy.
I mean, well, with Grant, everybody believes that if he's healthy and like trained up, he'll be fine.
Yeah,
nobody
exactly. I mean, no one's touching Grant.
Grant Holloway has right now, I mean, the mystique where because he's been so dominant, people don't actually come to the races thinking they can beat him. Am I messing that up? I mean,
that's maybe.
You can keep telling yourself that if it makes you feel better, but there's just no viable evidence that when you actually line up.
That
so
you
the
can
thing
actually,
is, like, because the time that like the loss we just saw at Tom Jones, like the fact of the matter is, this time I'll say it. You know that when you beat Grant, you didn't beat Grant doing Grant things.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Very true.
So the thing is, like, Bolt is the only person in his era who said, when I show up, y'all got to do stuff you ain't never did.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you win. Grant is the only one who can say, when I show up, you have to do stuff you never did. He's like, I just have to be me.
Very true.
He's like, true. And Cordell Tinch is now in the conversation of like, wait a minute, if I can show up as my best self, one of those medals is going to me.
It's going, yeah.
But that's what this performance announces.
That's what he wants. Yeah, he's like, I'm
saying it's about
really
time.
showing up. Yeah, that's true. So I think There's still a lot of guys who are in the conversation of the hurdles, but Cordell Tinch did really show up and put that performance down.
But moving on to the men's 400, as far as I understand it, Chris Bailey took care of business.
Yes. Chris Bailey showed up and showed out. And he's been on a consistent trajectory down in terms of his performances, where now he just ran 44.1. He had recently run 44.3. He ran 44.3 earlier as well. Like, he's consistently getting better and better, coming off that World Indoor Gold that, really kind of set the trend for 2025.
Is that time number 2 in the world this year?
It's number 2 in the world because Chris Robinson, who's actually at Grand Slam track, he had run 44.14. So Chris Bailey ran 44.17 here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we already know that Chris Bailey is in great form.
Amazing form.
There's a reason why, because he's the world indoor champion in the 4.
Yeah.
So for all the people who don't think that indoor matters.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he has to keep this form going. Let's flip the conversation. If we think about, well, seems like actually it's already starting to come together. How many names are really in the hat now for the men's 4 just getting out of the USA alone?
Out of the USA, I feel like it's pretty stacked. If we're talking about just the USA, because you have.
If he's new to the party as far as yes, he was on the Olympic team, but nobody was thinking of Chris Bailey as
many people didn't pick him to make the team. Yeah, I mean, you have Chris Bailey. You of course have Quincy Hall. He finished last year, but we'll see if he progresses through the year. You have someone like Vernon Norwood, Michael Norman. He was on the team last year. You have Ja'Cory Patterson, who ran 44.2.
Has Michael Norman run a race yet?
Michael Norman is not. Michael Norman got injured at the Olympic Games, so he's one who's been up and down with injuries. That elusive career, despite getting a gold medal in 2022. But essentially, though, the men's 400 in the United States is insanely stacked, and Chris Bailey looks to be in the driver's seat, in my opinion, as we kind of progress through 2025.
I mean, you say driver's seat. He's number 2 to an American right now.
True.
And again, the names that went, well, he's one that went to the games, but I mean, the 2 names that were ahead of him.
At the games,
well, you know what? Because Michael Norman is kind of, we don't really know what we're going to see from him.
Yeah.
That does shift the narrative, and because Quincy Hall, at least for where he's at right now, because he's the Olympic gold medalist, but I think everybody knows that the miracle of that gold medal was the way he got it. Because he got it in true Quincy Hall fashion.
Very much
Quincy
so.
Hall will never be, as far as I know, coming into the home straight, just crushing it.
Yeah, he's not going to be.
He's like, I'm going to need to have that extra bit of, just go get him. Because it's the strength that he took from the 400 hurdles that comes over to the 4.
That's true,
That's his superpower.
Very true.
He even said it. He's like, I know I'm not the fastest in terms of top speed, but I don't have to be because I have that. That's what he say. He's like, I have a diesel engine.
Which is
I'm
true.
gonna just keep it rolling.
It's a fact. Yeah, that's so true. But I think that Chris Bailey has the momentum right now. Again, you're coming off, even though he doesn't have the world lead, Chris Robinson, he's a 400 hurdler. I think that's going to be his focus, for the year. So,
If you come into USA as the world leader, you might need to change your focus.
We still got months before USA.
I hear you.
We still got months.
I hear you, but at this point we're talking 43s.
I mean,
43s, and there's a number of people who can run 43s.
That's true.
In a long season, and do it at the trials.
That's true.
It's a short list.
That's true. I mean, if that's a choice that Robinson is gonna have to make, that Chris Robinson is gonna have to make. But I feel like Chris Bailey, at least,
he has well for Quincy Hall.
And Quincy Hall.
He made that choice.
That's true.
Clarify,
that's very true. Very
literally
true. Very true.
In the recent past.
A couple years back. So that's very true. But I think Chris Bailey at least is showing that he had a reason to prove he wanted that contract with Nike that he got. He proved why he's one of the fastest all-time indoors. He ran 44.7, and he got the gold medal at the World Indoor Champs. So all these things, culminating with these personal best times that he's running, I think this shows I am not to be forgotten about. I don't want to be relegated to a relay guy. I want to make sure I'm consistently getting on teams individually and getting medals at Worlds and Olympics in the future.
We got to shift to the women's 2 for a moment.
Yeah.
Anavia Battle proved that her win against Sharika Jackson was not a fluke because she won again.
She did.
Went a little bit faster.
22.3. I think it's proven that she can be consistent. Yes, Sharika wasn't in the field, and it wasn't the most high-quality 200 field. You didn't have Gabby or Julian, but she's, I think, building momentum and confidence as we go through 2025. That's the key that I think for Anavia Battle. So,
I mean, the real conversation, because she's winning these races.
Yeah.
But as you say, and I think most people kind of are processing, will we remember it if she's not there at the Worlds?
Yes, that's the problem.
Because she wasn't there at the games
True.
in 2024.
True.
So
she has made a team in 2021 before, so she at least is capable of potentially doing it again. She knows what it's like.
But that was a different era.
True. I mean, you had Gabby Thomas then. You had
Not this. Not this.
I know. It's different. It's different.
It's not this Gabby Thomas.
That's fair. That's
Sha'Carri
fair.
really wasn't running the 2 yet.
No, I mean, yeah, Sha'Carri wasn't.
Like she, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not this.
That's true. That's true. But I think it builds at least confidence and momentum for Navy. Because look at last year. Now, Brittany Brown has been accomplished, but last year, Brittany Brown, she won. I think it was the Oslo Diamond League, actually ahead of Sharika Jackson and a couple other people. And she maybe got one other. She had some good races that led to her making the team. And then she got a medal. Now, I'm not saying that Anavia Battle is going to do that, but I just think these things are a confidence builder for someone who is kind of flying under the radar and could make it some noise as we go forward.
No, I agree. Mm-hmm. I agree. And just like this, let's be real about what's on the board. Mm-hmm. Gabby is there.
Yeah.
Brittany Brown is there now.
Gabby and Brittany are there.
And then
Mackenzie Long.
Mackenzie Long was just on the team.
She just made the team.
Sha'Carri Richardson.
She could.
As far as I know, wants to run the 2.
And
we know she can put down the fast times.
She has a wild card in the 100 to World, so she doesn't have to worry about
put it all down.
She can just focus on the 2. So it's true.
So because one of those spots was supposed to be hers. It just the race she needed in the final came in the semi.
I guess so.
Am
That's
I
fair.
wrong?
That's fair.
That's what happened last year.
No, it's true. She showed out in the semis and didn't do as well in the final. But no, I mean,
like you can't take her off the list.
No, she's in that conversation.
Yeah.
And to your point, it's
and we haven't had an Abby Steiner sighting, and we don't know if there will.
We don't know Abby Steiner. Tamari Davis is also someone who's in the conversation. Kayla White, like these athletes are a Grand Slam.
But see, I think this is what I'm gonna say though. I mean, stop me if I'm wrong. Once you go to those names, the Anavia Battle is telling me she's not with them anymore.
Based on what she's doing here?
That's what I'm guessing.
Okay.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, again, something might change this weekend. Something might convince me otherwise. But as far as I see it right now, from what I've seen in the past, the names that are on that top line, that it's like, unless you show that you can come up here with us and play at the level we play at, good luck. And then there's the next group. There's a whole bunch of people in that next group.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, she's now like, okay, I'm not with y'all though.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you're creating a sub-tier between the A and the B.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, can I get to where the A is? Because nobody realistically thinks they're beating Gabby Thomas in top gear, in top form. Like, let's be real.
No.
Like,
and then 200, no.
I mean, again, maybe Sha'Carri actually thinks she could.
Well, actually, all these athletes think, or they feel like they potentially could, right? They feel like they can win. They want to go into a race, feeling like they can win.
But that's the same way I used to think I could beat, the guys who was going to be in the NCAA championship final when I got to run with them in a prelim. I used to think it, but then the gun went off.
That's true. Then reality comes into play.
Based off of actual evidence of
reality.
races past. Not thinking it in terms of like having confidence in it. Because there's so many examples I could give where I'll say it this way. We don't have to name names, but I'm going to make my point. If you are an athlete who, let's say you hit a hurdle, and you hit a hurdle in a big race, at the trials or a qualifier or whatever it is, and in your mind, man, if I didn't hit that hurdle, I would have made the team. And then I watch you run another pro race and you hit hurdles. And then I watch you run another pro race and you hit hurdles.
Yeah.
Did it ever occur that you hit hurdles? That's who you are right now. You're not the guy who just hit a hurdle and it messed you up. That's how you run that race.
Yeah.
Like, that's where you're at.
That's crazy.
And you have to improve beyond that.
Yeah.
That's what all the athletes are roadblocked through, where you're trying to go to where you've never gone. We've seen where Gabby has gone. We've seen what Sha'Carri has done. She'd been to the World and came back with a medal. She didn't just go. She came back with hardware.
That's true.
And she ran fast while doing it.
Yeah.
And then came to the trials and ran fast again.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, okay, the talent is undeniable. You're now on the shelf. We will always expect you to add, because now we know it's in the bag.
Yeah, it's possible.
That's my logic.
It's possible. It's possible. Yeah, I think if we're just talking to the 200, Gabby is like the top tier, and then you have a couple other athletes like a Brittany Brown, a Sha'Carri, who else? You have like Mackenzie Long. You have a couple of these other athletes, and then you have like these other athletes as well who are also maybe like grabbing on and like could very much spoil, like an Anavia Battle, like Kayla White, or like other athletes who have made teams in different capacities. So
there's always somebody who didn't make a team, because I'm gonna give this plug, and I don't know, I gotta say it. Jamesia Ford, I'm still waiting.
No, it's true.
For, you know, what we've seen indoors. Like what we've seen.
Yeah.
She didn't win NCAA indoor this year.
No.
Those same college kids is gonna be at your face.
100%.
So
100%.
I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we might be looking at,
we just saw Mackenzie Long.
India Mayberry.
Exactly. And
Like we might be looking, because if she can go 22 low indoors.
And she's still a freshman. So
Sha'Carri was still a freshman.
yeah, no, not when she made the.
When she, yeah, because I mean, that was 20. What year was that? 2019.
She was a freshman in
Did she even run at
2019.
USA's after
She
that?
did. She finished like 7th or 8th in the
Oh,
100.
okay,
Yeah.
So,
It took a while for her, but
okay.
no. But to the point, like the event is competitive. Like there's so many women who could like really dip in and make some noise in the field.
I mean, the college kids, they have to hold form for
Yeah,
too long.
they got.
That's what's going to make
that's
it hard
true.
for them this year.
That's true. To be, they're in Doha in 2019. They also had to do similar. USA's was in NCAA's was in June. USA's was like in August. But you know, it's possible. Who knows? I think it's an open field behind Gabby and then maybe like Brittany-ish. But you know,
Right.
So, yeah, that's what it
Diamond
is.
League, Shanghai. It's in the books.
In the books. My name is Anderson from The Final Leg.
And I'm Coach Rob from SCA Track and Field. And thank you for watching this segment from The Finish Line.
If you want to know what's really going on at the high school and college level, be sure to subscribe to Coach Rob Track and Field.
And if you want more content on the best track and field athletes in the world, be sure to subscribe to The Final Leg.